get ready for this one. We're diving into a really emotional part of the Ramayana today.
Oh, yeah.
It's the whole fallout from King Dasharatha's decision to exile Rama.
Right.
The Tinker was initially so excited about Rama's coronation, like over the moon about it.
Of course.
But then everything just kind of crumbles around him, and he ends up in this deep, dark pit of despair.
Yeah.
It's really heavy stuff.
It really is.
And what's so interesting is that it's not just your typical political drama,
Right.
It goes way deeper than that. It's about love and loss and duty.
Definitely.
Themes that I think we can all still relate to today.
Absolutely.
So we're going to see how Dasharatha, who was, like we said, totally ecstatic about Rama becoming king, suddenly becomes utterly devastated.
Yes. The Ramayana describes him as completely consumed by grief.
Wow.
He's clinging to these memories of Rama, utterly unable to cope with his absence.
It's powerful stuff.
It's not just sadness. It's a very raw depiction of heartbreak.
Yeah, you can almost feel the weight of his sorrow. And it's interesting that the text doesn't just say that he died.
Right.
It's more like it suggests that he died of a broken heart.
Yes.
Is there something more to that than just poetic imagery?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It really speaks to how the ancient Indians understood life and death.
Okay.
You see, the concept of prana, this vital life force, was very important to them.
Right.
They believed that grief, especially really intense grief like Dasharatha experiences, could disrupt this life force.
Oh, wow.
And ultimately lead to death.
So Ramayana is suggesting that Dasharatha's love for Rama was so strong
Yes.
that losing Rama was like losing his own life force.
Exactly.
Heavy stuff.
Yeah.
It makes you wonder how people back then coped with that kind of intense grief.
It really does.
But before we get too deep into that, we can't forget about the other character who's caught in this emotional whirlwind.
Right.
Bharata.
Yes. Bharata.
He's away when all of this is going down.
He is. He has no idea.
Can you imagine?
He comes home expecting this joyous celebration for Rama's coronation.
Right.
And instead he finds his father dead and his brother exiled.
Because of his mother's ambition?
Yes, it's just a devastating blow for him.
On so many levels.
Absolutely.
What a mix of emotions he must have been going through. I mean, grief for his father.
Of course.
Anger at his mother.
Yes.
And probably even some guilt, even though none of it was his fault.
Right.
So how does he even begin to process all of this?
Well, what's so amazing about Bharata is how he responds to all of this.
Okay.
He is consumed by grief, yes, but he also shows this incredible integrity.
Okay.
He refuses to take the throne.
He does.
He does. He says it rightfully belongs to Rama.
Wow.
And this is where the idea of dharma comes in.
Dharma.
Yeah.
Can you explain that for our listeners?
Sure.
What does dharma mean in this context?
Well, dharma is a pretty complex concept,
Okay.
but essentially it has to do with righteous conduct, duty, and the moral order of the universe.
So how does that apply to Bharata?
Bharata's actions are like a textbook example of dharma.
Really?
He understands that accepting the throne would violate his dharma.
I see.
It would go against the natural order of things.
So what does he do?
He sets out on this journey to the forest to find Rama.
To bring him back.
Yes, to restore balance and righteousness.
So Bharata, even though he's technically next in line for the throne,
Right.
chooses to uphold his dharma by honoring Rama's rightful place as king.
Exactly.
His journey to the forest becomes this powerful symbol of his loyalty and devotion.
Yes.
It's like a pilgrimage.
It really is a deeply symbolic act.
Wow.
He even begs Rama to come back.
He does.
He does, but Rama won't.
Why not?
Because Rama feels bound by his own sense of duty to keep his father's promise.
Oh, wow.
So he refuses.
This just adds another layer to the whole story.
It does.
It shows how complex this idea of dharma really is.
Yes.
Both Rama and Bharata are driven by their understanding of dharma,
Right.
but it leads them down different paths.
It does.
There's so much to unpack here.
Yes, there is.
Both brothers, driven by a deep sense of duty, love for their father, and loyalty to their family.
Absolutely.
And yet their paths diverge.
They do.
Bharata's journey to Rama is filled with symbolism.
Yes, it is.
Can you tell us more about that?
Of course. So, although Bharata couldn't convince Rama to come back with him,
Okay.
he doesn't return empty-handed.
Oh.
He brings back Rama's sandals.
Rama's sandals.
Yes, and he places them on the throne
Wow.
and rules in Rama's name.
That's powerful.
It's a really symbolic gesture.
What does it mean?
It acknowledges that Rama is the rightful king, even though he's not physically present.
Right.
It also shows Bharata's unwavering commitment to upholding Dharma.
Even when it means facing personal loss and making really tough choices.
Exactly.
This episode really highlights the strong emotional bonds in the Ramayana
Yes,
and the complexities of duty and righteousness.
it does.
It definitely leaves us with a lot to think about.
It does.
So what do you think, listener? How do these ancient ideas of love, loss, and duty speak to us today?
Right.
What would it mean to uphold Dharma in our modern world? It's definitely something to ponder.
It is. And